Football is an art that combines emotion, audacity, and beauty in every play. It is no secret that the laurels and glory usually belong not to the most successful, but to those players who shine with their talent. The magic of the games has the power to remain etched in the memory of spectators for a long time. Speed, technique, shooting, and dribbling in the toughest matches have always been considered invaluable attributes. That is why in this video we will see the best football dribbles. Stay till the end and welcome to our Rocket channel. It is one of the most accessible movements that can be seen almost on any neighborhood court. This move can be performed by almost everyone who has played soccer. However, the effectiveness of such a simple procedure depends on the speed and technique of the player at first glance. Barcelona player Dame Michael Laudrup is considered the first to use this feint regularly at the Bolshoi. However, it was so long ago that Laudrup's merits have been forgotten by many. Also, the authorship barely belongs to him because the move feels so natural and obvious to football that it is more likely than legendary Barca player Andres Iniesta has continued with the work of his idol to popularize it. The movement with the closed foot varies depending on whether the person doing it is left-handed or right-handed. It is then quickly pushed forward with speed and direct motion, which determines its effectiveness. Iniesta never had a problem with this. Thanks to a fairly simple feint, the Spaniard was on the verge of overtaking his rivals in the pack, however. Both Andres and his idol Michael Laudrup have repeatedly stated that they do not perform the rocket for beauty. Not even because it is easy to quickly pass to the opponent, but because this movement helps them obtain the possibility of passing instantly. It is not surprising that the passing of Spanish football is remembered for a long time around the world. Balassi Yannick. Balassi is a unique player who was able to invent a new football feint on his own. Although the Congolese footballer failed to become a top-level player, his fame is due to one of his best dribbles of all time, for which his signature move has been deservedly named Lazy Fleck in his honor. Popularly known, this feint requires a large amount of personal skills from the soccer player, since it combines part of the characteristic movements of Ronaldinho and Zidane. Also, it requires quite a bit of free space. Therefore, if the player cannot perform this deceptive maneuver compactly, he will quickly hand over the ball. Balassi showed his best performance for Crystal Palace. Most of Balassi's feints were more instant improvisations than moves practiced during training. Still, his signature move, the flicker Balassi, allowed him to dominate his early rivals in his native Congo. Everybody knows him well. Balassi would hit the ball with his left foot in the air, skillfully sliding to leave the opponent behind. The position of the ball in the air provides the perfect opportunity to take a shot on goal or send a cross from the band into the area. Adversaries who fall into Balassi's trap often don't have time to understand what has happened. Balassi was extremely pleased when he discovered that a move almost identical to the one he had invented appeared in the FIFA games. Under the name of the Tornado, although this took away some of the credit, it is unlikely that he will ever use this deceptive maneuver that we could consider among feints, since it is more of a long-distance blow execution technique. In 1976, during the European Championship, Yugoslav midfielder Antonin Panenka, who played for the Czechoslovak national team, he decided the penalty shootout with a characteristic shot that finally secured victory for his team in honor of this player. The shot was nicknamed Panenka. Many players immediately tried to imitate this unusual way of shooting at goal. The main hurdle is replacing a usual shot of force or precision with a shot that deceives the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper crouches down trying to guess the trajectory of the ball without knowing where it will end up. Panenka also outplayed many goalkeepers who were initially preparing to repel a strong, accurate blow, not a soft parachute-shaped shot. This style of shooting has been used not only in the execution of penalties, but also in one-on-one plays with the goalkeeper. It is especially effective when the goalkeeper is trying to shorten the distance to the ball. Leaving the goal unprotected, the shot flies towards the goal, surprising the goalkeeper who tries to close the bottom corners. This technique is only used by the bravest, as if Panenka's shot misses, the stands will instantly start booing the player for missing a goal opportunity. Due to the arrogance of his style, Cruyff is known by many as the founder of total football and one of the best coaches in the world. But in his youth, the Dutchman was no less successful as a professional player in the championship. Cruyff was the first to use a relatively simple movement that quickly became indispensable in most dribbles, both in professional football and amateur, since this feint is easy enough to execute without requiring much preparation. The technique consists of mocking the opponent with false threats, but instead of going directly towards him, the player changes direction by throwing the ball towards the opposite side with his heel. This confuses the defender, whether he tries to block the working leg or finds himself at a disadvantage. There will be additional time and space for more maneuvers. The effectiveness of this type of movement depends largely on the speed of execution. The faster you get closer, the more likely the defender won't be able to react in time. This feint, nicknamed in honor of Cruyff, has been popularized mainly by Cristiano Ronaldo, who from an early age systematically used the Dutchman's characteristic heel. It is important to note that Ronaldo almost did not use false threats and focused on his great speed of execution. In terms of efficiency and spectacularity, this feint can be equal to the most notable regatta elements. Determining when and who invented this technique is complicated, but one version suggests that Rabona has Argentine roots. In South America, his name translates from Spanish as missing school, because a journalist brought a photo of the possible perpetrator to a press conference after the game. Another version indicates that this technical movement was originally called crossover or crossover blow, and later adopted the name of a tango movement that is quite similar. This trick is a complex move that requires practice. It is very easy to make mistakes in its execution. The player must cross his legs so that the support leg is in front, while the free leg performs a small swing from behind. To execute a cross kick or a pass, this technique is very useful for players who do not act on their flanks and do not have enough skills to execute crosses or kicks with their non-dominant leg. It allows you to resolve complicated situations. For example, when a right forward wants to shoot, but the ball is on his left leg, this can surprise the goalkeeper or defenders. Players like Maradona, Quaresma, Di Maria, and Lamela have used this technique. Lamela even scored a goal against Arsenal with it, and recently won the Puskás Award for the most beautiful goal of 2021. For such a complex technique, it is essential to have good technical skills. The same cannot be said of the recent heroes of our edition of the Top 10. Although they are quite technical players, there are still players with considerable technical prowess. As for tricks, the rainbow and hat are two of the best known and effective. Although they are not always easy to execute, they have a significant impact on the games. Brazil has historically been the epicenter of the main regattas and techniques that cannot do without the most spectacular acrobatics. The Zambra hat is a movement that, although it has the name of the typical Mexican accessory, consists of throwing the ball over the opponent, so that the player can run around him at great speed, while the opponent tries to find out what happened. This feint is called Zambra because it seems that the player is wearing a hat that flies off when escorting the ball. The main difficulty of this movement, it is to quickly pass the ball over the opponent's head. It is about doing it as quickly and discreetly as possible, since if the opponent detects the maneuver, they will be able to react and compete for the ball. For this reason, the Zambra is an extremely complex trick. The player's task is to create a surprise effect, and the best way to do this is to quickly move the ball under the heel, and then throw it behind the back over the defender's head. The rainbow is a variant of the Zambra. This feint is a little lighter and gets its name from the arc that the ball describes. Ronaldinho is famous for using this feint, and currently his compatriot Neymar has taken his place in modern football. In big and difficult matches, these moves are rarely used properly, to the high risk of making a fatal mistake. They can also be seen as a lack of respect and mockery towards the opponent. The Marseille roulette is one of the most aesthetic and popular feints in football. It is associated with Maradona or Zidane, but it is not entirely true, as it is frequently used in informal matches or in the courtyards. This movement is performed by rotating the ball at high speed. To complete a turn of 363 degrees and maintain possession of the ball, the key is to execute it swiftly so that the opponent lacks time to react. Diego Maradona frequently employed this technique to best his rivals in one-on-one confrontations. While Zidane enhanced the roulette slightly for the modern game, the Argentine simply shielded the ball as it spun, and his agility enabled him to alter trajectory. The Frenchman, on the other hand, made a precise turn that gave him plenty of free space. This feint is very impressive and difficult to learn, but with practice it is possible to master it. Many players use it, although only when the occasion allows it, since modern football focuses more on the games of ITA, a team, than in the time of Zidane and Maradona. When individual personalities had a crucial role in perfecting these feints, true expertise was required. Share your thoughts on these football masterpieces in the comments below. If you'd like us to upload another video featuring a sequel to these plays, please let us know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, like our videos, and share them with your friends. Additionally, explore more of our videos. Until next time.